Should be live. Just checking everything. And we are. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Jedi Academy number 112. I am Ranger J 1999, your humble host and part of the RSG crew. And if you're new here and wondering what in the hell is this, this is where we bring the best and the brightest of YouTubers, game changers, and sprinkle in a little bit of mental damage that is known as RSG. And this is a Q&A show. This is where we will answer all your questions about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And the way it works is if you have a question you would like to pose to us or anyone specifically on the panel, all you need to do is one simple thing. Make sure you put your question into the live chat and make sure you put question in front of your statement. That's right. If you don't put question in front of your statement, it's just little old me again doing all the work, and I will not catch your question. So if you want your question answered, you must put question in front of there, and that's it. That's all you need to do, and we will go in the order that the questions are put in. So we will get to your question. Don't worry about it. We always get to all the questions. So if you have questions, please put those in. Start getting those rocking and rolling. With that being said, do me a favor. We have a lot of guests on here, so for our channels and for theirs, so to support their content, make sure you give them a thumbs up on the video on this one, and for their channels, check out their stuff. It really does help them. You know, these wonderful folks take time out of their schedule to be here to answer your guys' questions, and out of their own time. So please show some love and support for all the people here. So there you go. Hey, Dexatronic, I see you, Sup Ranger J 1999. Question mark? What, do you think I'm not Ranger J 1999? We've secretly replaced Ranger J 1999 with Mel Gibson. Let's see what happens. All right, so that being said, good morning, everybody in chat. Glad to see you here. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday with us. Hope we can keep you entertained. That being said, let us introduce everybody here. Someone joined, and I'm not sure. We got some people joined that snuck in here. I wasn't sure who it was. And someone's check your speakers because they're blasting me in the ear right now. Please check your speakers. Thank you. I was going to order that I know people are here. I know Michael W. Huntington III from England is here.
Muzzle tov, Mel.
What? You sneaky bastard. Also join us, the one and only Stoner Jedi.
What's up, everybody? What's going on?
Mr.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday to you, Zalo. Where's my apprentice?
He's eating breakfast, hanging out, watching his little Star Wars mini-series right now.
That's right. Train him properly. I will test him later on. Also joining us all the way from somewhere up in the Colorado Rocky Mountains, the one and only Grizzly Man himself, Warrior Presents.
What's going on, you guys?
What's going on, Warrior?
Not much. I'm on a regular phone today, so it better not have any issues whatsoever.
Wait, what were you on before?
My cell phone, which I always am.
Oh, okay.
But
he was on his far away.
You guys had me going. You had me going robotic and far away and all sorts of weird stuff. But it's the same cell phone I've used for the last, 2 years. So I have no idea why we're having issues last week. But to prevent that, I went straight to a landline. So we have issues now. We got real issues. We'll have to destroy the government.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, Warrior, we know what we need to do. Listen, between me and Warrior, between the two of us, we just need some. We need some glue, some gum, some masking tape, and a couple knives. We got this. So don't you guys worry. Also join us, we've got the lovely, the talented, soon to be my next apprentice in the dark side of the Force, Jedi Master Adastra.
Good morning. And that would never happen in a million years, by the way.
Your anger makes you stronger, Adastra. Gives you focus. Give in to your aggressive feelings, young lady. Do it. She will turn to the dark side.
You definitely have fun with that, I'll give you that.
You enjoy it too. That's why you're laughing. Jedi Master Dasher, did you see me on Wednesday's show?
I did not.
I'm so hurt right now. I dressed up and everything. I thought it'd be something you would appreciate, but
don't tell her. Let her watch.
I know. I'm not
It's
going to
worth.
tell her.
It's
I'll
worth
have to
just
check it out
watching.
now. Yeah.
Did you
Brilliant.
see that I did a
It's
lore?
gold.
And did you see that I've been doing lore videos, Jedi Master Dastra? The silence says it all. I even covered a Jedi in one of the first ones I did, and she doesn't even know it.
Oh.
Oh, now you're interested. Okay, as soon as I say Jedi, then you pop up.
Of course.
Mhm,
Huh?
yes.
Jedi? What?
What Jedi? Did you cover Jedi? What is this? Yes, I covered Shakti.
So this is a new series you just started?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So I can see that Jedi Master Dasher does not watch RSG, so I just like to throw that out there to the fan base.
I don't watch hardly anything, so don't take it personally.
I know. I'm giving you shit because I know you work a lot and stuff. We love you, Jedi Master
I'm just gonna
Dasher.
leave now.
Oh, get out of here. If I didn't mess with you. You give me a tough time all the time for being all dark and stuff, so I get to fire back, damn it. The Granger, you're using a lot of dark side there. Like, yeah, you need to stop that. What? No! She is the light to my darkness. It balances the channel, the show well. All right, so if you have questions, go ahead and get those in there. And we will start going through those. So good morning to everybody. More people are popping in. Glad to see you guys here. Let us begin. My God in heaven, have they been dropping bombs all week? I can't keep up anymore. So we got new characters. Skate Podcast had a bunch of stuff that they announced last night. We got Grand Arena Championships coming up. There's so much, I don't even know where to begin. I'm sure we'll get questions about all this. So, you know what? Let me start with Jedi Master Dastra. What's on your radar? What piqued your interest this week? You were like, oh, what's on your mind about this week in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes?
Yeah, like you said, it's just been information overload.
Yes.
It's awesome. We go from like nothing to just everything at once.
Yes.
It's like, oh, you guys are complaining about nothing new? Well, here you go.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
It's been crazy. I mean, obviously, I'm excited for, Shakti, another Jedi, Galactic Republic.
I got mine 4-star Jedi Master Dasher. You'd be happy.
And then the announcement for Kenobi's capital ship, that's pretty awesome. I was like, yes, Galactic Republic will maybe dominate an arena again for a week.
And then it will die.
And then something new and shiny
but
comes out,
probably
right?
the biggest thing, I finally accomplished my lifelong goal of maxing every single Jedi. I got the 100% across the board.
Even
I am
Shakti?
so excited for that. I'm going to be excited for a while because that had to be 6E also for the site to register 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And then getting the G12 Plus from the raids was the pain, and the Zetas. So I was like, yay! Like when Shakti was announced, because I was literally one piece away, and then Shakti is announced. I'm like, yay, another Jedi! But now I have to max her right away.
That's right.
Fun.
So a happy moment, then taken away.
Well, yeah, so I wanted to get it done now before Gear 13 is a thing, because I'm like, it's now or never to get this accomplishment, finally.
It's now or never. All right.
But yeah, it'll be cool to see, because the clones are going to get some love now, too. Like, they hinted big time that Fives and Echo are going to get some updating. So that'll be awesome.
But what about Mace Mother effing Windu? What about Mace Windu?
Oh, I'm hoping he gets a rework.
I mean, come on.
They kind of hinted at it in like previous posts, So it's like, I'm hoping, because I think he's been highly requested in that Jedi faction at least. Like, a lot of people want a Mace rework, so Listen to the people. Give us some awesome maze.
Yes, it is.
I'm
Warrior.
excited to see what's
I know.
gonna happen with this
All
faction.
right, stop it.
There's so many things.
Yeah, I feel your excitement. It's too bubbly. It's too early morning on Saturday for me to. So I'm gonna go to a fellow dark side user, my brother from another mother, Warrior. What's got your interest peaked this week?
The Negotiator.
Ooh.
I know that it's another Galactic Republic, so people are going to be like, "Oh, we've got 2 Empire and 2 Galactic Republic," and I get that. There's not like a lot of balance, but when was this game ever balanced in factions? I mean, remember the first 60 characters were rebels. You know what I mean? So you just got to kind of let the whole balance thing go. They're doing better over time with balancing out different factions, but I'm just happy that I have a character completely maxed out, getting a ship, so I don't have to worry about oh crap, that character needs multiple this and that and blah blah blah. So he's maxed out. I think most high end players have him maxed out because they've been using him for the last 6 months in some fashion as a main team or counter team. So that's good. I'm interested to see the capital ship. It sounds like it's going to have multiple abilities that bring in ships.
Yes.
And so that sounds pretty cool. Sounds very offensive in nature. And I like offensive ships because no matter how much we could potentially hate this meta in ships because it's the same thing, Millennium Falcon, blah, 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 it's at least quick battles. The previous meta for ships, if anyone remembers, was the Mace timeout teams. That you could literally time out on. And so those were really, really, really annoying, going 5 minutes and winning or 5 minutes and possibly timing out. And so it's nice to have an offensive team that you don't have to play more than about a minute and a half max. Doesn't really take that long. And so hopefully he'll bring more of that offensive nature to ships and just create a little more diversity. So yeah, anytime there's capital ships, I'm interested. I mean, they let us go how long without capital ships, so everyone has prestige for at least one. A lot of people have 2, and some people have enough prestige for 3 capital ships, and I think they know that. So there's a chance that the new capital ship, unlike all the rest, will have possibly more abilities that have to be leveled up, or maybe higher levels. I don't know. I'm interested to see how they suck all the prestige out of us. And go to the new ones. Plus, we know that this is only one of 2 capital ships at a minimum, possibly 3 capital ships, because they've already said the thing is that they're short on capital ships and need to bring more in, and they confirmed at least 2. So he's just one of the many things coming out. And then I think we're going to see some regular ships coming out as well. They're really in the last week, to be frank. Obviously, I'm looking forward to about 2 weeks from now, where I'm back to normal days off and can actually get back to doing normal videos. But there was enough content this week for me to do like 8 videos.
I know.
If I had the time to actually make them. I mean, there was like 8 different releases of 8 different topics that could have been covered in depth for 5 to 8 minutes minimum per topic. This was a YouTuber's dream come true this week. I really regret not having any time to do any of those videos because it was just so much content. So there's just a lot.
Yeah, man. It is quite a lot. So, Zyla, what's on your radar, my friend?
Well, just Shakti in general, the character. At first, I was really kind of upset about the new gear paywall pieces being put on her and the depth of the new pieces that she has. But looking at her kit and the character itself, she's the second fastest character in game behind TIE Fighter Pilot. So it makes sense that she's getting those extra speed boosts from all those new pieces. And as you're leveling her, she's going to have such depth with speed alone. So not just an offensive-minded team, but a way to bring the clones back in a sense. I love it. And they also hinted at the Escape podcast, the current team, right, is like what they have right now, but it's something going forward with not just the Echo and Fives tweak, but other clones to come. So I'm very excited about that too. Making a second clone team of whatever that leader is. The standalone character like Shakti, being a Jedi, and then having that clone synergy just made it that much better, right? Like it's kind of separating two clone teams that aren't full clone teams, but Shakti has so much synergy with them. And then looking at her kit in general, she has a lot of assisting mechanics. So even if you haven't gone or haven't invested in the clones as much, she still fits in with a Jedi team. Like the mass assist abilities, and even like an offensive minded presence again. Like she could make sense in a Jedi Knight Revan team or a Bastila lead team with the assist mechanics. And I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a fun investment going forward, and seeing what all these other new characters we get from territory battles.
I agree. And last but not least, Mr. Michael W. Hunton III from Her Majesty's Secret Star Wars Service.
Yeah. I was thinking, you haven't really left me much to go over.
Oh, yeah. What do you mean? There's like 9,000 things.
Well, the one big one that stands out for me, of course, is double drops. Lots and lots of double drops,
yes,
including the challenges.
Well, see, the problem is, that's great.
Omegas this morning.
Yes,
Yay.
see, for me, that's been
nice.
I've had the opposite effect. I've done all this stuff and gotten hardly nothing. None of the main characters or anything like that. So thank you, CG. Again,
you need to.
This
step
is second
the
time in a row.
Side, the path of the light.
I know,
side
right?
It's
the damn conspiracy, Mike. Every time there's double drops, I did all the characters. The only one I hit double. I hit. What ship was it? It wasn't even IJ2000. I got 0 on that. I got one hit on Xanadu, so I got 2. And I was like, oh, thanks.
Yorkie needs 4 more to 5-star Xanadu, and then just focus on the last bounty on the ship. But oh, I'm echoey.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll see how it goes today. I'll do some more, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm a little nervous because every time there's double drops,
target.
Almost there. Just a little further. All right, you guys are firing your questions in, so let's just start. Like we always do. And where did my questions go? Oh no. Where'd they go? Alright. I'm going to just start in the order that it's in Zoom. Let's make this easy for me in my life. Warrior, your first name that's popping up. So, see. Paparazzi has a question, Warrior. He says, they have a question. Better not assume it's a he. I think it's a he. On that note. I don't know. Question, I've had the classic Imperial Trooper team for ages, and I just geared Range Trooper to Gear 11. How do I mod the new and improved Imperial Troopers teams?
There is no new and improved Imperial Trooper team. It's the same Imperial Trooper team we've had for over a year with all the character introductions over the last year. And it's always been the same. It's critical chance, critical damage, and they gain a bunch of turn meter and stuff from, the lead. So you don't really need speed on the team. In fact, you just need as much offense on the team as possible with crit chance, crit damage. I mean, you're shooting for 60% crit chance with, your critical damage at 222 if you can slice to 6E on some of them, or 216 if you can't. And you want as much offense secondary, preferably percentage. The percentage is going to really boost on these particular individuals because they do physical damage. The only character in the entire lineup that even needs anything, and the only thing it needs is speed, is going to be Stark. Stark just needs to be as fast gets, because as soon as he goes, he gets the turn meter train rolling because of all of the buffs that he puts up. So, yeah, it's been that way, though, since the dawn of those characters.
Yeah, I screwed up and he said, how do I mod the new, for me, new and improved Imperial Trooper team? So I should have put that in there. So it's new for him, Warrior. So I screwed that up.
Yeah, they're a really great team. So that's it. You just want them to do insane amounts of damage. The physical damage is something that's relative. People have a hard time understanding, like, how much should I be adding to a character. For a character such as like Snow Trooper, you want to have them over 4,000 damage. So you're looking at 1,000 to 1,500 additional offense, which is really difficult to do if you're doing crit chance, crit damage sets. So you need to make sure that your primaries on the arrow and the primaries on the cross the plus on the bottom right, are offense percent. And then when you can get them to, gear 12, you need to slice those specifically, the offense ones, up to 6E to get that extra 3% offense. And then your crit chance, crit damage will be fine. But it's just really hard to get, 1,000 to 1,500 offense secondary without it being a mod set earlier on.
All right. Next question for Jedi Master Adastra. And this is from WetL73. And the question is, has anyone done any further testing on the Padme team with Clone Wars Chewie as a part of it? Have you done anything like that with Clone Wars Chewie? Or who are you running, Jedi Master Adastra, with Padme Amidala?
I don't have my Clone Wars Chewie geared up, so I haven't been able to test that one, but I've heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
That he can be a beast under that team, which I think is pretty awesome. Yeah, I love, these underutilized characters that can shine in his team. So I've been going a similar route, but using the Galactic Republic I do have geared up. Like, I've plugged in different ones on that team now. You can use, fives, for instance, nice and tanky, and he has the assist and the counter, so he's pretty good there. I use Ema Gundy just because.
Sure, why? Well, that's shocking to hear, Adastra.
Yeah, what I'm doing, I'm going to go through and use every Galactic Republic that I have and put it in that slot just to see, can she work with anyone in that fifth spot when they are modded correctly. And so far, it's proven pretty fun. My favorite so far is using Qui-Gon Jinn there. Like, it's just so much fun because of his bonus hits, and it's just TM also, it's easy to get him fast, and he generates a little bit of TM. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And then of course Shakti is the newest addition. She can plug in there too, and so it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. What a shock! You're gonna use all the Jedi. Oh, that's evil. I like your evil laugh. Good job.
It's a happy laugh.
It was a muhaha, not a ha ha ha.
Okay, hee.
Well, okay, let's not get crazy here. All right, next question for Michael W. Huntington III, and it's from Utah. And the question is, farming characters for Darth Revan and some basic pillars per Ranger and the upcoming GOTB, what is still the best suggestion team to get Padme with possible new characters coming or current? Mikey?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just thinking.
Sullivan, let it sit in your mind. Yeah.
I'm thinking probably the Newt Dooku 2 GOs and a B1 would. There's the argument about the B. No, I'm just the B1 to just keep Sunfac alive.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the stealth, you've got the hit through and ignore protection.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have the issue with the B1 proccing the protection and whatnot. But no, I still think that's probably going to be the best one.
Okay.
I might be biased, but no, yeah. Either that or Grievous without B1.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. All right. Next question for Stoner Jedi. We've got a two-parter here, Stoner. So, Max Power says, question about Grand Arena. How long will this new GA go for? And the second question is, how long will your mods be locked for? Stoner?
I think it's going to be... Well, the GAs that we had before were about a week. And I think it's going to be a little bit longer than that based on upping the banners and the new leagues. So maybe a two-week event, bi-weekly, so that way they can have some lax time in between and go back in and start another one before the next month comes around. And then locks, I would assume the locks would carry out through the whole join phase and end phase, right? Like just like it did before. They're trying to really pimp this anti-cheating aspect, right? Like that was the first thing that caught my eye was the anti-cheating aspect of it. And I really think that they're going to fine tune the mods and trying to be more secure with them, and that's why it'll be a longer lock phase, right? Like it just makes sense because with the bug, you could obviously change your mods casually through the GA without even knowing sometimes, and even intentionally you can do it. So I mean, it's just they're trying to get past that now, and I feel like a longer lock phase or a different lock mechanic is necessary, and that'll probably be the biggest aspect of it going forward.
All right. Apologies to paparazzi. I knew you were a she. For some reason, it's early in the morning, and I think my brain is not working, so I just didn't want to assume again and get in trouble. Last time I messed up that way. No, that is a he, not a she. And then, or no, that is a she, not a he. So I apologize, paparazzi. I haven't had coffee yet, so my brain's not functioning. So, next question up top to Warrior from Skywalker Vader. Question: it seems all the new characters we're getting acquire new gear pieces. Do you think it will be the normal when the new characters come out, and will this hurt the game? Thanks.
I don't think it's going to hurt the game. I think it's evolutionary, so I think it's just that was bound to happen. I do feel like all the new characters are going to have new gear pieces, and that's because, I mean, I hate to say it, but you know, the game is designed to try and make a little bit of money on gear, and they have to create a gear crunch. And you got to remember now, there's a lot of people that are hoarding everything of the old type. So if they've got, you know, 10 Carbanti saved and 5 stun guns saved and 5 stun cuffs saved, that no longer does the company any, you know, even if they bring a character in, for example, Shakti, I got her to gear 12 plus 3, and I spent nothing on that. I did spend $150 to get her to gear 7, to 7 star, but I didn't have to spend a dime on the gear. I took Shakti to 7 star with $150, which was really great actually. In comparison, it's really sad when you buy a character for $150 and you're like, it's a good deal. Even though it's like one marquee character, $150, that is like ridiculous. But you know, that's just the game's economy, and the game's economy says that these characters used to be $300 to unlock them, 3 months, 4 months early. So to unlock them 3 months early, it was $300. And so for $150, it's a steal. But for other people, I guess they spent more money than that. But the gear, I had absolutely everything. In fact, I knew this new gear was new gear that was like going to be implemented on every single character moving forward. So I earn about 1,000 crystals a day. I use about 300 a day in farming, and I was saving 700 a day. And then every 2 days, I was using the 1,400 to buy 25 of the one and 25 of the other. And I've been doing that now for over a month. So I have a stockpile of the cryotech. I think about 125 of each after getting her to gear 12. So I've got to refill the stock. But it's not just that. There's going to be additional pieces of new gear for the gear 12 finishers. It sounds like it's going to. I mean, if you think about gear 12 pieces, a lot of them are like 180 to 260 pieces of hard to get gear to get it maxed out on the gear 12. That's probably what the finisher is going to look like. It's probably going to be like 260 pieces of really hard to get, you know, difficult new pieces and cryotech pieces and all sorts of crazy crap. So that'll be the new norm, unfortunately. But you got to remember too, these finishers are designed to take a character from insanely amazing to over the top amazing and give the person who's doing this a competitive edge. Well, because everybody has, you know, gear 12 whatever on a particular character, the one who will have it at gear 13 will definitely have a definitive edge. The only way to do that is to have that piece be overpowered. So, yeah, they can't just be giving that away to everybody really easily. So, it's the evolution of the game. I don't think it's going to kill the game. I do think people get frustrated with it. I mean, I'm not alone. I think everyone's like, damn it. But it's just kind of one of those things. The old gear is out. The new gear is in. So your old characters will continue to use the pieces you stockpiled, and the new characters, you're going to have to start stockpiling new pieces of gear. And, you know, the good news is the cryotech pieces are farmable. Not that they drop well, but they are farmable.
The drop rate's
at least
awful.
Something.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite of this. I think this is as I said in the Wednesday night stream, a straight dick move on and greedy on CG's part. the reason I say that is because I understood the legendaries. Like, for these legendaries to have like this new gear piece, I was like, yeah, it's a new character. They're trying to slow the progression. You got to do something they can make some money off it. But a marquee character, first of all, their gear crunch is real. Most people are not hoarding. The purple gear, the stun cuffs, the corbantes, and the stun guns are just causing people to lose their minds because it's just an endless need for so many of them. Now Gear 13's been announced, and you just made a great point more about how much we're going to need for Gear 13, as well as this other stuff that these a lot of people are feeling the crunch for. I understand CG has to make a profit, and I'm all for that. That keeps the game going, but you can't drop Gear 13. You can't have the gear crunch as it is right now, and then on top of that, for any new character coming out, you're going to, on top of the crunch that's already there for Corbante, stun guns, stun cuffs, then come back and say, oh, for every new character, we're adding this new gear piece, which sucks to drop on the node because I know Miss has been tracking this. His drop rate was 15%, so he had a little bit better drop the night we were looking at it, so it's up to 20%. So 1 out of 5, if you're lucky, is... on a good night is when you're going to get this new gear piece. So it's either you get crystals and buy the gear and stuff like that. So I think for a vast majority of players, they're just sitting there shaking their head and going, what am I going to do? I got to get all this other gear that's ridiculous to get. And then they're going to drop Gear 13, and then they're going to add a new piece to a marquee character that, I don't know. The Gear 13 I get, gear on the legendaries, okay, I'm cool with, but on a marquee, I don't get it. I'm just not understand. It's straight.
Well, and it's a speed aspect too, right? Like again, like Shakti, she's the second fastest character in the game, mind you, and her kit and her build is all speed, health, protection, and at that point, yeah, they're not gonna put like say for example when a new tank comes out, they're not gonna put all these new pieces on a new tank, for example. So some of the characters might be excluded, but I'd say like a majority, like 75-80% of the characters moving forward are gonna have this new piece.
Crazy. This is crazy. God.
Yeah, still pretty. It's a lot to take in. Even still, like Boiton Bor and this new Geo come out, watch it between the two of them, you need like another 6-8 of these pieces, right? On top of Shakti just being released.
Yeah, she was 4, right? So, man.
You're talking about like probably like 10, 12 pieces altogether between these 3 new characters.
Ugh. We will do what we must.
Yeah, we're all gonna suffer together.
That's right. Me and Zyla will hold each other as we try to get this crap done. Oh God. All right. Next question. Let's see. I think there's one for Jedi Master Dasher. Yes, there is. One specifically for you, Jedi Master Dasher from Utah. It says, question for Jedi Master Dasher. With Padme using General Kenobi, Anakin, and Ahsoka, what are 2 to 3 good Jedi teams? I do have Jedi Knight Revan.
Yeah, good question. I've been messing with that
I know
myself.
you have.
Because Padme is now an ideal leader that can take on a lot of stuff, and she uses, a few really good Jedi on that team. You want to stick with that core group, so you have Ahsoka, GK, Annie with her, and then that optional 5th. So that still leaves you a lot of options for a Jedi Knight Revan team, and then you can split up your Jedi Knight Revan and Bastila team still, because you can, as a for sure 2. And then depending on your roster depth, other Jedi, you can have like a Qui-Gon Jinn lead as a lesser team that's good for cleanup, or even it's a fun defensive team for Grand Arena. I've done that before because a lot of people, Qui-Gon Jinn is past those days, so some people don't even know what he does anymore. So,
yeah, or if you have that data, you've been like a first
Who is this Qui-Gon Jinn?
Yeah, so and same with Grandmaster Yoda lead. I mean, he's really good to stick with your Jedi Revan, but as a lead, he's really fun too for that reason as well. That it's a different one, and people don't know what to send to it, so it's usually underestimated. So it'll really depend on your roster depth of what you can do. But otherwise, the traditional comps, you're going to have your Jedi Knight Revan and Bastila as your two main leaders. So then you have options depending offensively or defensively. So say Bastila for defense, it's usually nice to have two tanks there just to make it harder for certain counters like JTR to get around. Because if you have just one tank, you know, they can dispel that taunt and just go after one of your important people. So I like having two tanks there to just mess up counters. And then Ayla is one of my favorite ones to put there because of her assists and her stuns. But again, a lot of people may not have Ayla, so you might be one of those people. But if you do have Ayla, she's really good with the Bastila combination. Like,
Oh yeah.
Ooh, all right.
then,
So before we go forward, too, what do you think of that Ayla in the new weekly shipments is like detailing Adastra? Like, you notice how she's getting her 5 shards for the 1,000,000 currency?
I know I saw that. I'm like, maybe she gets an update. Come on.
Yeah, something. It's hinting at
Because
something,
you
right?
know, she's really good. She just needs an update for this day and age of the game. Like, she doesn't need a full rework.
Right, right.
Pretty
Little
good
tweak.
kit. She just needs that slight push to elevate her. So, fingers crossed.
Oh, jeez. All right, let's get on to the next question. To Mr.
Hold up.
Oh, what? Yes.
I need to get going. So I
Well,
was
that's
only
early.
pop in for a
She
little
got
bit.
work.
Yeah.
She got work.
Oh, or they're a little bit early.
Got a meeting I need to get to, so.
You go handle your business, Jedi Master Dasha. And tell people where you can check your channel out real quick before you go.
You can find me on YouTube, Jedi Master Dastra. Upload Jedi-related content, and now uploading some of the Galactic Republic stuff.
No
It's
Sith.
in the same realm anyway, so it counts. Otherwise, you can find me on various Discord servers. You know, the Jedi server, of course, and there's a Galactic Republic server, and RST, of course. You could, if you want to find me, you can find me.
Look her up in the phone book. All right, don't be late. Go do your meeting.
Yeah. So have a good weekend, everyone.
All right, Jedi Master Dasha. See ya.
Bye, Dasha.
All right. Next question to Michael Huntington III. Let me see here. Well, that was a question for Dasha. So, Paparazzi, I apologize. She had to go. I don't know if she's going to take them all to Gear 13. So, we'll find out.
You know she will.
Yeah, she's going to do it. I mean, come on. I mean, listen, this is real. It's a Dasha.
She was just talking about
Not sure if the
imagine how
sun's
many
going to set
Jedi.
tonight.
Yeah,
Imagine how many Jedi she put Gear 12 Plus on, like Jedi Knight Guardian, ETH Call,
I know.
all that stuff. So she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it.
All right, Mike. Next question from Dilla Papayas. Question: what is the best AOE attack per faction in your opinion?
Best AOE attack per faction.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Or just not per faction, but just best AOE. Yeah, best AOE attack per faction in your opinion.
Okay.
You don't have to do all of them, but a couple of them. What do you say would be your top 3?
So, I love the either the 212 or the Cody clones. It just looks spectacular. The focus.
Oh, the Palpatine animation.
Hey? No, with the actual using the clones. I mean, I know I'm going old school, but I mean, because we've just used them all. The when you get all the crits. I mean, they don't hit for very much, unfortunately, but I think visually it's spectacular. After that, what would I go for after that? I think after that it would have to be Darth Revan shocking everybody on his opening move. I mean, that move is just awesome. Love it. Love putting that down start of the match.
I've always loved
Kind of like-
Palpatine's one where everyone's just
I
sitting there
win.
violently shaking. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's like spazzing out,
Unlimited
having
power!
seizures.
You're like, oh lordy. Like Vader's doesn't do it for me, man. He should be like lifting them all in the air and choking them, man. They gotta do something about that animation. And if Vader's gonna choke a,
And I'm gonna go for the final one.
What's the final one?
Just again because visually it's just amazing. Is when you're running a Chief Chirper lead and you've got C3 in there and you do a mass attack and
Oh yeah.
Zalbar just disappears.
It's like a delete button. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 4 mini furry murder bears against one ginormous one. Who's gonna win?
Yeah,
Today it's David's.
R2's is really cool with the oil slick and the burning. I'm trying to think of some other cool ones that I think are pretty strong.
Django?
I have it
Jay.
pulled up if you want me to.
Yeah, what do you want? Yeah,
So calculated
go for it.
calculated ambush is Gar Saxon's, and Gar Saxon has the second highest damage AOE actually for Empire. It's number one for Empire. He deals plus it's the second highest damage, but it deals double damage if they have less than 50% turn meter. So it actually does more than any of them. For Jedi's, it's overpowering assault from Jedi Knight Anakin. It's his new rework. It's just an insane amount of damage. For Old Republic, it's Power Blast. It actually does the AoE and the knee taunts, and that does a lot of damage. And then Mother Talzin for Night Sisters, her AoE, it's not true because the AoE that Asajj does stacks, but it starts out with Asajj being less, and then eventually it gets most powerful. But for now, just for the initial AoE, it's actually Dark Magic. Her AoE does the fourth most in the game. And then Jedi Knight Revan for Jedi's is the second, but in reality, we know it's probably one of the top two because his actually gets buffed so much due to all the buffs and stuff. And then for First Order, it's Drumfire by the Special Force guy. He does a lot of damage, and he's in the top 10 for AoEs in the game. And then Echo. Yeah, and then Echo gets the EMP grenade. His is actually in the top 10 as well. And then Wampa's not in a faction really, so he's kind of on his own, but he's in the top 10.
He's just Wampa.
Yep, and then the next two are actually from Old Republic. You got Overwhelming Firepower with Candace Ordo and Remorseful Thrash from Juhani, and then it goes into Overwhelming Assault with Snow Trooper. So those are some of the top 10.
Okay, it's interesting they're not all bounty hunters. That's interesting that they do as much AoE as they do, but I guess the damage is not as potent.
It would probably be Django or Dengar.
The best one is Death from Above with Boba Fett. He's the first one on the list for an AoE for the top 15.
Okay.
And right below him is actually Force Storm from Darth Revan.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Wow. Well, another one I
one of the
wanted to
most
mention.
How do you have this
Dengar.
information? Damn it, you're amazing.
Yeah.
You just pulled that right out of here, bud. What did you do? Where did that come from?
Swagagaga.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, another thing too is another thing too, like when Mike mentioned Darth Revan's AoE, right? So like when you get that opening shock and it shocks everybody, and then Bastila comes in with Wild Lightning, it's not an AoE, but at that point it becomes an AoE because Wild Lightning just shocks everybody and does mass damage to everybody.
Oh, God,
so
it's
not like an AoE, but it's awesome. You know what I mean? It becomes an AoE in a sense.
Oh, that thing is... I've one-shotted people with that thing so many times.
Yeah,
It's
like 3, 4, 5 pieces at once.
you
like,
just count down 3, 2, 1, and you all exploded. All right, let's get to the next questions, which will be for... Who's last? Mike. So let's do Stoner Jedi. Oh, for Christ's sake. Come on, Nightbot. Work with me here. Well, it's for Dasher, but see what you... he can do this.
Let's do it.
For Nathaniel Morgan, question for a Dasher Fallen. Well, she's not here, and I haven't turned her yet. Should I take my Jedi Counselor to Gear 12 plus 5 in preparation for the Negotiator? What does he have as a character?
You said Jedi Knight Guardian?
Counselor.
Oh, Counselor? Oh, I mean... if you have like 5.5 plus million GP, go for it. If not, no.
I know he has a ship, but just go Gear 12. Don't worry about any of that extra crap. Even Gear 11, you're fine because it's oh lordy.
The only other plus I could think of is like him in a Padme team. Like if he had a bunch
Maybe.
of courage, his courage damage maybe. But like even then, it's like very, very, very end game. Like I'm sure Warrior wouldn't even consider doing that for the longest time.
Oh, we know Warrior loves him some Jedi Consular.
Yeah, and some ships too, right?
He
I mean,
loves
he
some
loves ships, so.
Would you do that?
I mean,
Warrior, would you do that for your Jedi Consular? Take him to Gear 12+5 for his ship and other things?
No.
One word.
He's like, here, Ranger, let me tell you to you in Spanish so you understand. No. Oh, that's great. All right, next question. Back up top to Warrior. That's a good question. To nail Papayas' question, how you take advantage of the double drops?
On my main account, I'm not. On my alt account, I'm just farming everything that I've been farming, and I'll benefit every day that there's a double drop in whatever area that there's double drops. So, I'm farming literally on my alt account everything in every area of the game. So today it was nice. I got 40 Mark IIIs. Ability mats? Come on now. What? Like, if we keep doing that for 3 days, I mean, that's insane. That means tomorrow I'm going to benefit from that again. 40, that's like a massive infusion. And when you hit the Omegas, which I did twice, that's 4. I got 4 from those just in one day. I know. I'm like,
I didn't get any.
So, yeah. So that sucks for you.
Jesus Christ.
But anyway, yeah, it's just I'm just farming what I farm, and today, sometimes you don't get anything, and double a 0 is crap. So you definitely don't want that. But I got bounty hunters. I've been farming Bosk now for months, and I got 4 the first time, so it doubled to 8, and the second time I got 2, which doubled to 4.
Nice.
So I got 12 in one day. That's like, I feel like I spent like 500 crystals or something, which I didn't to get, because normally I get like 2 a day if I'm lucky. So to get 12 in one day, I was like, yeah, I might finish him this year. So that was fun.
Very nice. All right. Max Power question to Mike. We'll go to you next. During the 6-week period of Grand Arena Championships, will your characters be locked in regards to mods and characters achievement for the whole 6 weeks? I don't think they've covered. I don't know. That's a good question.
That's a really good question, isn't it? It's
I think it's something they're going to address.
It's dependent on whether or not they've managed to fix the
exploits and
the
bugs
Grand
and stuff.
Arena aspect of the game mods and allow, because how many raids are there going to be? I mean, I'm forever, messaging my shard mates to say, dude, you've got no mods on your Bastilla Shan again. And it's like, oh yeah, we're raiding. And it's like, if you, yeah. And it also then opens up the potential to be accused of cheating when you're not. You literally, you've got your mods, you know how they work, you're doing heroic Sith, you want to try and get as high as possible for the best rewards, and Grand Arena drops for 4 weeks.
Yeah, they said in that one post where they highlighted 5 things about Grand Arena Championships, that was one of the things that they're going to have a big post on. So I'm going to be interested to see what they do about this. So I guess we'll have to kind of wait and see, Max, what the response is going to be. I know it's something that they're looking at, trying to fix and make sure that everything's kosher before Grand Arena Championship starts. So let's be a little bit patient and see what they say. I'll give. I know it's a big deal, so let's kind of see what happens. Stoner Jedi JLY9 wants to know, question: what's the best Separatist led to get 7-star Padme? Dooku, Newt, Grievous? What do you think?
Lead, I would definitely go with Newt, or if I had to prioritize which one, Newt lead, then Dooku lead. Newt's just the speed and potency boost. That team is huge, and then his rework alone makes that event so much more doable, right? Like, it's like when the BB-8 event came around the first time around, you only had Phasma lead, but the second time around you had crew, right? So like with this in a sense, you had your only few options were Grievous lead, Asajj lead, or Dooku's lead before the rework, and that wasn't even that pretty. But now both Dooku and Newt rework leads, sound amazing for that event in particular. Dooku sounds even more effective because he's going to get those guaranteed stuns, being that the enemy's Galactic Republic. The Geos, you can just plug in any Geos in there. If you have B2 Battle Droid is going to get you that event for sure. I mean, you could, again, just the two attacker droids that I would recommend would be Droidica or B2. And B2 is not even an attacker in that. He's just there to spam that mass debuff AoE and buff immunity. And then you're just going to chip away at them bit by bit, especially with those two reworks. Like Newton Dooku's rework just makes that event go from having a roster of Gear 11 or Gear 12 characters to maybe even possibly Gear 10, Gear 11 characters.
Yeah,
so it'll make the event. It has that stagger effect, especially the second time the event's coming around. So.
All right. Back up top to my man Warrior. From Most Def Isley, he says, question, did anyone else catch CG Carey's interview on the Escape podcast? What were your biggest takeaways, i.e. most interesting or thing you're excited about? Did you get a chance to listen to any of that, Warrior?
No.
Oh,
Nope.
All right, so we'll go to somebody else and I'll get you another question. Mike Zyla, did you listen to it?
Yeah, I was there all last night.
Yeah, I listened to
it.
Mike, if you had a chance.
I haven't listened to all of it yet.
Okay,
so
so
I have listened to a big chunk of it.
Okay, so what were your takeaways from it?
Send in the clouds. More plans coming.
God damn it. Jesus. All that's what you say. All right, Zy, I'll give you something serious before I kill Mike.
Well, you got the negotiator. We kind of got more information on that outside of the podcast. But the event with the I believe it was the Afly or Afly or something like that. I can't remember the name of the creature from the
Acolyte.
Yeah, Afly. That's it. They said that the people who developed the Malik event are also developing the Akli event.
And they
right?
nailed
so
that. They nailed the Malik event. I mean, that is.
Yes.
I did the lore video for Malik, and that was spot on. Not only from the game, but from his lore of that final battle. It was well done. So I'm excited for this Acolyte event.
Well, the event in general, and the fact that it's just going to be an increased value of difficulty, and you're going to have to think, oh man, I got to be on my P's and Q's when this phase comes around, or when I have to do this mission, because it's not going to be something you can just go in there and push auto anymore. And even in depth, maybe a year down the road, it would be still away from that. And for example, with the Sith raid, they don't want that to be something you can just go in and push auto. And a majority of the teams in your roster can't do that. So they want to have that same aspect. They want you to go in, have some layer of competition and a new game to have to aim for, right? So I think that it's going to be even challenging for even the top tier guilds, and I think it's just going to be an exciting layer going forward. And on top of that, adding to the championship Grand Arena, yes, I'm stoked.
Yeah, there's some good stuff coming in. I mean, I again, when I criticize CG when I think they're wrong, but gotta say, most of the time they've been knocking out of the park. So I'm excited for both these, but we still got to wait and see what happens. So
yeah.
All right, let's get back to war. Let me see if I can find a question here. Well, let me answer this one for. Let's see. There was a question here. Oh, no, okay, here we go. Warrior, here's your question. Don Carlo, question. I've been focusing on mods with base stats like offense over 100, etc. With Gear 13, is percentage a better stat to have than the base number?
Yeah, so, I mean, ultimately it's going to be relative to the individual character, and you're going to have to try and figure that out for yourself. But as a default rule of thumb, the lower you are in gear, the less relevant percentage becomes, because percentage of crap is still crap, but a percentage of a very high number is an even higher number. That's just like basic crap knowledge. So when you take into effect crap knowledge, you go Gear 8, I've got 2,000 physical damage. Adding a small percentage of 2,000 is trash, but if you got 4,000 physical damage, it's a different story. So yes, the lower you are in gear, the more you want to kind of focus on solid flat stats. Like, what 400 health gives you. It's 400 health. That 800 protection, is 800 protection. It's going to help give you chunks, plus 100 on offense. That's a great chunk. As soon as you get into like the gear 12, gear hopefully soon to be 13, you're going to notice that the percentages are drastically better because the numbers are all significantly higher than they are at the lower end. So, the kind of the sway point is somewhere in the ballpark of around gear 11. You kind of have to start doing the math both ways and decide which one. And then when you're doing it, just make sure that, you're taking the stat and then you're minusing out anything you've added with the gear on that level, because that gear on that level doesn't count towards the percentage boost for mods. So, for example, if you've got 2,200 offense, and 200 of that offense came from a couple pieces of gear, you have to actually deduct that before you do the multiplication of the percentage that you're adding, because those pieces of gear, until it's completed, the pieces of gear only count the first time, but don't actually count towards the mods, if that makes sense.
No, makes perfect sense.
So you can do your math right. And then you can decide, is that 1% better than 200 or is 200 better than 1%? You'll have to figure that out. But gear 11's where it's kind of hazy. Anything below gear 11, flat stats are always better, pretty much as a default rule of thumb. Yeah. And then above gear 11, it pretty much switches roles and goes to percentage. It also depends on the stat. If you're looking to do defense percent is almost always better, because once it's rolled to 6E, it has one of the greater jumps, and it doubles, whereas the actual percent flat defense flat doesn't. So it just depends on, I guess, which stat you're looking at as well. But yeah, the kind of rule of thumb is flat below 11 or above, you want to go percentage as kind of a generalized rule of thumb.
All right, well spoken. What else? 73 says, could it be that Lady Adasha's happy laugh is truly a happy evil laugh because she sounds like a viable thing, secretly evil and happy about it? Could be. I'll turn her. Don't you worry. We'll keep working on her. Here's the real question. We'll go to you, Mike. Question: how many new ships do you think we will be getting along with the Negotiator in the next month or two?
In the next month or two, I reckon something in the region of 5.
Oh, you think 5? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. But I mean, so many players will have everything 7-star at the moment. All my ships are, and yeah, and I'm way down the rankings of GP wise and that. So yeah, I think that they throw a lot of content in so that you either have to buy it all or you're going to have to sit there and, let's face it, so many of us are kind of like have the Pokemon sort of mentality or OCD, and anything that's not 7-star is just kind of like staring at you accusingly. Why don't you love me? What's wrong with me? Why aren't I 7-star yet? and then it's MasterCard or Pad 1 Visa out again, isn't it? But I think we're going to get flooded. I really do. I mean, they've been alluring to ships having some major works. There's droid tags. There's Sith Empire ship tags. I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
Droid,
kind of, So, and they've thrown us a curveball saying, "Oh, you're going to get another Galactic Republic capital ship."
All right.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? Okay.
How does Shakti get around?
How what?
Is she a pilot?
Jedi had ships. Get out of here, Mike.
Yeah, they all had starfighters.
Yeah, well, there you go. So there's another tune that can potentially get one, and
or in the Clone Wars, they can just get on one of the.
Still looking for his ship.
They just get on one of the big capital ships because they were usually the generals. So, and they had their own personal Jedi ship. So, they had multiple ships, Mike. Next question for you, Stoner, from Pesh. Question: staying at 59 Basila, 34 Karth, and 35 Juhani. I'm assuming this is to 7 stars out of 100. I'm maxed out on everything for the double drops. I'm not getting Revan, am I? Galactimos in game. Think with the where he's at with those, with the double drops, he's got a shot for next week.
I think you could. I mean, if you start double refreshing, maybe Who was it? Karth and Juhani that were the ones who were pretty close.
Bastila,
Like
Karth, and Juhani. Now Karth's fleet.
Yeah, so you can definitely, because on my alt account, I've been not only getting Cassian's energy through fleet, but I've been able to refresh it and be able to knock 10 of his nodes out a day in fleet. And then, I mean, with the double drops, the double drops are going to basically stagger through the hard nodes most of this month, I believe. I mean, like the next 2 weeks, we're going to have double drops a little everywhere. So there's going to be double drops on fleet. There's going to be double drops basically everywhere throughout the next couple of weeks here. And then I think you got a great chance, man. I mean, you got 7 days with the event on top of, let's say, the event's in another 7 to 10 days. Like, I think you're going to get right there. You could even potentially look at farming some character shards out of the shipments when the double drops end, right? So you got a more guaranteed effect of the shards. Mm-hmm. That way you can round up the last couple of shards that you need, and then you'll be looking at them like right as the event's coming, you'll be like, all right, I only need a few more. I only need a few more here, and then you'll be able to hyper focus on one at a time. I think you'll be just fine.
Yeah, it's pretty close for you, but you have a good shot at it. There's never no guarantees, but I think you might be okay.
Worst comes to worst, if you have to, drop $10-$20. It's a great character. I mean, like, if you're spending $10 or $20 to get that, that's a great buy. I mean, like, I always look at it this way when I'm spending money, and I always ask myself at least 2-3 times, like, what am I getting out of it? Is it going to be effective if I buy it now? And am I getting the value out of it? Right. So, I mean, most of your spending habits for games nowadays go from anywhere from like $30, $40, $50 anyways, right? Like, PC games, Xbox games, etc. If you're going to spend $10 on a character, it's going to be that effective. It's Darth Revan, Darth Malik.
All right, let's see here. Next question up to you, Warrior. Wet73 question: is it going to be worthwhile to have Shakti with Cody, Echo, Fives, and Clone Sergeant and keep Rex for our Rex Wampa teams in TW, or is it really debilitating them not having Rex?
No, that's actually very logical and makes a lot of sense. And you got to remember, the developers don't like giving you the best case scenario in events. They want you to figure that out for yourself. So they suggest teams that are like good, not great, and they do that on purpose. So that way the community isn't just spoon fed the best of the best. Rex absolutely can be peeled off. He's a cleanse, but so is she. So she replaces that aspect. He has speed with turn meter gains, right? Well, so does she. So, I mean, they're almost mirrored type leads, and it allows for you to split them off. The only thing you need now is a few more clones, which I do believe we're going to get at least 2 more clones at some point. It might take them 2 months just because they like to, oh, we're going to do ships this month. Okay, next month we're going to do clones again. You're like, what? I thought clones were over. It's just the way they kind of, try to flow it. So I think we're going to get a couple more, and it'll make it easier to parse out. But yeah, absolutely, Rex can totally be dropped. In fact, it makes more sense to drop Rex than Clone Sergeant, because Clone Sergeant's total insane amounts of damage and stuff. His kit's really, really great for the clones. And I think it's going to be, the great thing is you're going to be able to use it as an amazing counter team to a couple of different teams that are out there right now. So I think that you're going to want to be able to use it. I think she's going to be viable at the 3-star Gear 11. I really do. She is a little on the squishier side out there. I stopped at 3-star Gear 11 and looked at it and went, do I really want to spend, the couple $100 to get her to 7-star? Yeah. And then I was like, I'm going to shoot for it. I'm going to try it. And it ended up costing me $150, which, like I said, is ridiculous, but it's still a lot cheaper than I've spent in the past on characters. So I think she brings about a new kind of, it's almost like Imperial Troopers 2.0. You know what I mean? It gives you 2 Imperial Trooper teams
for sure.
In that sense, that you now have 2 offensive teams that can kind of, be fast, speedy, and high damage, and allows you to kind of chew through some of those maybe lesser bounty hunter, smuggler, scoundrel style teams, which is really what you see on defense most of the time everywhere in Grand Arena.
All right. Next question to Mikey.
Ooh. Real quick too, Ranger, can I add to that one real quick?
Okay.
Last night, Carrie used Padme and Anakin as a reference to Shakti and the clones that we have now, right? Like, so when Anakin got reworked, he didn't get the Zeta right away, right? So they couldn't give him the Zeta because it had synergy with Padme specifically in his kit, but Padme wasn't in the game yet, right? So when they released Padme and then added the Zeta to Jedi Anakin and did the tweaking and everything like that, it wasn't just because he was working so well with Jedi Knight Revan, but because he was meant to be under the Padme team and have that synergy with Padme specifically. So they couldn't introduce a mechanic in game that they didn't have yet, right? So same goes with Shakti and these new clones. She referenced that, yeah, she works great with the clones that you have now, and that again you can take out Rex and add Clone Sergeant and still be as an effective team. But adding to the team that they want to add and they want to incorporate the newer clones into that team, they're not there yet to add those mechanics, but they will be down the road. So
yeah, very good point. All right. Let me look here to Mikey. All right. Jason Krulik, Mike says, question, do you think with Gear 13 coming, we will have an easier way to get the Sith Raid gear pieces?
Quick answer, no. We're not going to get any help other than the help that we've got. And effectively what they've done is they've shifted it all. Here's your carbs, here's this, and this gear-wise. That's resolved that. Oh, by the way, we're stopping using those pieces and from here on. And here are the new ones that you're going to have to either spend a very long time farming or utilize your crystals. Yeah, no, I think it's still they've introduced competition within guilds, haven't they, for all the raids and everything, just to get into the top 10s, just to get these pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see them alleviating that. It's kind of like it's frustrating when you're not within the clique. You can't make the grade. However, what it should be doing is spurring you on in developing your squads so that you can do that. So you can argue that the outcome, although it's a negative reason to start with, the outcome is positive. Ergo, eventually, it's a positive thing that you're struggling.
All right.
That we're struggling. Sorry.
It has that huge effect too, right? Because like, if you just start giving away that Gear 12 Plus piece, it just makes Gear 13 that much more accessible, right? Like, so you have to not only hyper focus in Grand Arena Championships, but you still have to place top 5, top 10 in the Sith Raid, right?
Yeah, and the other thing is that you don't want the top 50 in your arena shard all having every toon Gear 13.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You
especially right away.
Exactly. You've already got the battle to try and chip away and get into there and climb as high as possible for your payout. Just like I'm going to reference my alt account that doesn't have Jedi Knight Revan, and it's like, as soon as you get anywhere near the top 200, that's it. Revan or bust.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right.
So it just introducing another tier of that. Yeah.
All right.
Eventually it will occur, but...
All right, next question for Xylo. Sword of the Jedi says, question, if I want to 7-star Shakti, what is the best way to do it? Is the 20-pack a yes or a no?
Because I didn't get to go in on the Droidica pack, but I heard nothing about the Droidica pack other than good things, really. I mean, and they're two different time frames and two different packs in a sense, because Shakti, and Droidica's Droidica. But I've been hearing better drop rates from the Droidica packs, and even still, I think it's a great idea to go in on them if you're free to play. I'm gonna try it myself. I mean, doing the math, if you get your 900 crystals every day, you should be able to get anywhere from 8 to 9 packs free to play by the time the pack comes to an end. So I'm going to go for that myself, at least like 7 or 8 of those packs. I'm going to open my first one tomorrow. And I've been hearing nothing about the packs other than 15s and 17s, really. I haven't heard anything over 50. So I think that they probably tweaked the drop rates a little bit more than the first pack. But I still think it's a good investment, especially if you're going to buy the $20 pack and get her up to 4 stars. Might as well try and push her up to 5 or 6 stars now, because guess where she's going to go? On a 20 energy hard note, and it's going to take you a couple months to farm her to 7 stars. So you might as well knock out what you can now, in my opinion. Or if you don't want to invest in her, maybe possibly this new Geonosian character, because the dark side territory battles is coming around. Maybe he's going to be a pretty big key piece to have at 4 or 5 stars, and you might have to invest some crystals in that if you don't want to spend. So we'll see. And it's good strategy, I think.
I agree. All right. Next question. Back up to Warrior from What Else 73 question. Now that Gear 13 is confirmed, do you think they will boost all raid difficulties? Or all raids difficulties?
No, I don't see them boosting the raid difficulty. In fact, they said the opposite. They said that with Gear 13 coming in, the boost of damage potential from the teams is going to go up drastically through the roof and will actually trivialize the raid with those characters. So if you've got like 4 teams that you're using, normally people have at least 4. Some people have 8 to 10 teams that they're using in the raids. But let's say you have 4 that you're using and you get them all to Gear 13 and you're doing 20 million. You're probably going to be doing 35 to 40 million with those characters now, just because the Gear 13 makes them all that much more effective and do that much more damage. I mean, they actually said it would trivialize the damage. That would make it much easier. And they're hoping to make it much easier because the Sith raid's been out now for over a year, and they're like looking at it as something that people are still struggling with. And normally raids come out, they get mastered, and then there's at some point level of mastery that they kind of become trivial, and then they move to new content, and that's never happened. It's still as difficult now as it was then, even with all these insane new teams and new characters and loops and blah blah blah. They're still seeing that. I mean, even at the high end, in this heroic, people are still scoring 20 to 30 million at the highest end, and a lot of the actual averages they get to see are more like 6 to 12 million for the average person. So it's far less than I think they were expecting by this time in development. So Gear 13 should actually make all the raids easier, because if you focus on a couple of big damage dealing teams, for example, Jedi Knight Revan Phase 2. 12 million potential right now, 12 to 16 million if you got a really, really highly perfectly modded team. Take it to Gear 13, that's now a 20 million team. One team. You just take it into Phase 2 and, almost solo Phase 2 by yourself. It's just going to trivialize it, which is not a bad thing, because that means that there will be evolving to more PvE content that'll be different, which will be fun. And for anybody who happens to be able to hyper focus down on 1 or 2 teams for the raid, it will help them be able to help their guild clear. Speaking to that, guilds should speak clearly to their teams as to what they'd like, and try and get people who are excited about Night Sisters to focus on Gear 13ing a Night Sister team, and people who like their Jedi Knight Revan to focus on those teams, and people who like their Jedi Training raid teams to focus on those, because diversify, right? Teams that only have 22 people playing the raid. I mean, I'm in 24th place right now in my alt account, and I did 500,000 damage, and I'm in 24th place. That's really not good, because there's like 10 people that basically carry the entire guild. I'm trying, I'm doing my best, but I'm not really much of a contributor. So, but if everyone focuses on one different team each, you'll notice that 3 or 4 people will be able to now solo Phase 1, and 3 or 4 people will be able. And I remember the very first time Sith Raid was launched, Instinct was like, we're going to be the first ones to do it. We're going to do it in like 30 to 45 minutes. And we did, but it was the most insane. Like, everyone go in and do 2%. If you're on airplane mode and you don't have your 2%, you bail out and you start over, and you do it. And then once we're done with Phase 1, everyone's done 2%, and we all had to. 50 people had to get 2%. And then Phase 2, it's done. Now it's go. This is the team, airplane mode. Get your 2%. And it was like everyone had to do their part. Now you can get 3 or 4 people that focus on Phase 1 and become Phase 1 specialists, and then they can teach the team everything about Phase 1. And they'll have the teams that really help pull that kind of the weight of that phase, and it helps the team out.
Very good. All right, next question to Mikey from the lovely paparazzi. Question: what are some teams that can take out a somewhat undergeared Padme team besides Darth Revan, Jedi Revan, and Mirror Match?
A sub-modded squad.
Undergeared.
Undergeared. Palpatine.
Yes.
Palpatine Empire. That one can really upset the party. Once you get the TM train going there and the shocks and that one actually can be brutal.
All right.
Can be over. It's probably, if it works, it's probably the quickest clear you'll have.
All right. Next question for Stoner from Nathaniel Morgan. Question: how difficult will it be to obtain Negotiator since everyone has a near max General Kenobi? Also, how does Malevolence fit in? Will one be required to attain the other?
Well, they've already set that precedence a long time ago. Like, you need the character for the ship, of course, but like, I'm not too sure. I mean, can you read the question again? I'm sorry, I'm not really like catching it.
Why are you not paying attention to when Ranger's reading? You failed.
I am. I'm not sure.
Where's my apprentice? Choke your father on principle.
Well, that's another distraction. I'm getting force choked everywhere around this house.
I think he'd be used to it by now. He's got to get his training in, Xylo.
Yeah, that's true. You got to think of the bigger picture, right?
Yeah, quit thinking about yourself. God, so selfish. Nathaniel Morgan question: how difficult will it be to obtain Negotiator since everyone already has a near max General Kenobi? Also, how does the Malevolence fit in? Will one be required to obtain the other?
That's strange. Well, they could. I mean, the character itself, you obviously have to get out of the raids, but I mean, I'm gonna have to assume it's gonna be a legendary event tiered on difficulty, right? Like, because the character's so accessible for one, like you just said. A lot of people are going in and soloing the tank raid now, and multiple people competing to solo the tank raid. But I definitely think it'd be like a legendary event, perhaps. I mean, like, maybe this month we get the legendary for the Malevolence, the Negotiator, and then next month we get the opposite. You know, the General Grievous capital ship or New Gunnery capital ship or whatever Separatist capital ship we're going to be getting. I think that they're going to create tiers of legendary events, of course, but like, it's also going to be like RNG based. The teams that you're going to be using are going to, require some extra synergy, and then you're going to need Anakin's ETA2, of course, because it's said in the post as well that like Anakin's ETA2 is going to thrive and have great synergy with it, right? So like, you're going to need a 7-star ETA2, and not a lot of people have been focused on that, right? Because there's so many other characters that people are still backtracking on, like Enfys Nest, Darth Sion,
B1.
The new B1, the new B1 droidica. So you got a lot of layers, and people are going to go in the direction of characters as opposed to ships. So if you've been smart and you focused that ETA2 and got it up to 7 stars, I think that's the only real cap that they're going to have. I mean, other than that, they're not just going to introduce any new Galactic Republic ships right before they introduce this new capital ship, right? So, and if they do, it's not going to be tiered for the legendary event.
Do you think that we'll need Sith ships to unlock the Negotiator?
I wouldn't be surprised, because honestly, what else can they do, right? Like, they're not going to require Galactic Republic ships to unlock the Galactic Republic capital ship, right? Like, it just seems contradicting. And then maybe even you'll need the 3 Geos and Darth Maul ship. Like, is Darth Maul have the Separatist tag? No, right? He doesn't have the Separatist tag now. So you only have the 3 Geo ships that are Separatists. And remember when the Bounty Hunter event came around, you could use any 4 Bounty Hunters? They're going to be like, you can use any 3 Separatist ships. Like, that's the only thing I could think of. I mean, hey, if you have the Geos, what other Separatist ships do we have? None, right? So, and I just don't think there's really anything else that they can do unless they put it behind a paywall, which would be horrible. But I don't see that either.
So we've got 5 Sith ships.
Yeah. So I mean, that's more
not easy to
more
say.
possible.
You'll get to choose any 5 to use.
Any 5 Sith ships, yeah.
Because that's definitely like what you said. You're going to use any 5. Well, there's only 5. Oh, that's right. There any 5 you want. Whichever 5. You can pick them, and you can put them in any order you wish. You could put, the Sith bomber in the 1st slot or the 5th slot. Your choice. But I do think they're going to use them because they haven't used them yet to get the Negotiator. And then was this whose question was this? Was that Nathaniel Morgan?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
he's a bastard for suggesting that on this, because they listen to this stream. They're now going to do that. You're going to get the negotiator with Sith ships, and then you're not going to be able to get General Grievous's invisible hand unless you have the negotiator. It's going to happen now because he suggested it. So we're totally screwed. They're going to be like, oh, you have to have that ship to get this ship. And people are going to be like, I don't have that ship. Well, I guess you're going to wait 4 months.
And they'll like it too.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, right? I mean, like it's all a new situation, new scenario, right? Like the Chimera was already out when the light side and dark side TV came around, and there's all these other things that we're just waiting to see unfold, right?
Yeah. All right. So who's that? Mike. Who's that question? No, it's two. So we're back to the top two. Warrior. Yeah. Well, what else? 73 had sent a question to. Do you think Lady Dash will be the only player with Gear 13 Genetic Guardian, or just the first? Both.
Right.
You have answered your own question. All right. Question for you, Warrior from Acheron. Question: do you think the NS Anakin team that can auto Heroic Sith Phase 3 will be nerfed? I should put a post out about this.
To that effect, yes, but no. Like in its immediacy, they've already addressed it. They put out a public post, and the post basically said that while they understand that interaction is unintended and it creates a sort of loop that is unintended insane amounts of damage, they will be addressing it at some point, but that they are too hyper-focused on the things that are important right now, which are, getting Geonosis up, the territory battles up, and all those other things. And so because their focus is the new PvE content and rolling that out and the new characters and ships and all this stuff, they don't have time right now to assign people to fix this loop. So they've said basically it's something that they're not super happy about, and they will at some point address it, but some point means a few months from now probably. So if you have it, use it, because you'll get to score high and stuff, and you'll get it because it's a legitimate team that you can use. But will it last? The answer is no. They did not come out and say that it's a because sometimes when there's something not working right, like the mod situation in Grand Arena, they say if you use it, we'll find the cheaters and we'll ban you guys, and when the ban hammer's coming down hard and blah blah blah. That's not at all what they've said. In fact, they said, we get it, In fact, they told T-Money, who's normally on this stream, that her video now should probably spike in views because people realize they're not going to do anything for a few months. And so people are going to be going to watch that video to see what the heck this team's about so they can replicate it for at least a few months while they're waiting on fixing it. So I do suspect a lot of people are going to use it over the next few months, and that's fine. They understand that, and they have not said that the ban hammer is coming or anything silly. So it's legit. You can use it. It works well, but just know it won't last forever. So if you don't have the team, don't invest into the team specifically for this, because she has already publicly said it will get changed at some point, and there won't be refunds if you invest in something is only a temporary thing.
Yep, great point.
Well, then it's because it's not the end game content anymore, right? Like it's not their hyper focus, and the new TB and GAC is the new focus. So they can get back to that, like you said, in a few months.
All right. Next question for Mike from the thing I'm working. Question for Mike: are the clones a polished turd, as you say? Are they a legit team now? Your words come back to haunt you.
They're not. They're somewhere in between. They're not. I mean, we already covered earlier on that they're alluding to new clones coming in, the interaction between them and Shaggy, who's just arrived, is probably going to be a lot better. Ergo, we'll have 2 clone squads, one which will be an effective polished turd, and the other one will be effective. I hope I've covered that there. But at the moment, they're more than a polished turd. Yes, they are more than a polished turd now. They can actually beat things.
Mm-hmm. So, polished turd, loss confirmed. Okay. Next question for Stoner Tumblo Dry. Question: what gear level does Canderous need to be for the Darth Revan event?
I did it with Gear 7 Canderous. Yeah, Gear 7 Canderous and Gear 8 Juhani. So, I mean, like, you don't need the gear, but you will when Malik comes around.
Yeah, it's about Malik. It ain't about no Darth Revan. Then it's a different animal. Oh, boy.
Yeah, then your Darth Revan's EP, Triumvirate bait, and all the other weak counters, even Trooper bait, so...
Oh, boy. Yeah. I just finished the car team, all to Gear 12 and stuff, and I love that team. To me, it's him at Gear 12 with the rest of that team is just ridiculous. So I'm a little biased, so I will leave my opinion out of it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's been players that do it with lower geared Canderous and Juhani, but it's long term. Think long term. Use the characters and the team that you already worked on to build for GA and get that Darth Malik.
All right. Next question. I'm updating here. Give me a second. All right. From Trash Gamer up to you, Warrior. Question. Nest can solo Shakti with clones. Can Wampa also solo the Shakti squad, you think?
Sorry, say that again. I was listening, but it just kind of verbiage on it.
Okay, so the question is, he's saying that Nest can solo Shakti with the clones. Do you think Wampa can also solo Shakti as well, the squad, with Shakti and the 4 clones?
Possibly. I mean, you got to keep in mind, teams like Shaktis and the clones are built in a way that they, get a bunch of retribution and things like that. Any character that applies the AoE days is going to help counter that. Any character that has counter naturally is going to help with that. But remember, she takes away defensive buffs, not offensive buffs. So she's not going to strip them of their retribution. Plus, the retribution's added after they get damage taken. So even if it would be applied at the end of turn. So it's turn order, right? It's like Magic the Gathering, which happens first kind of thing. So damage occurs, then the retribution goes up. So even if it stripped offensive buffs, which it doesn't, it wouldn't take it away. But so it really doesn't matter. And I think that it's all relative. If you have a team like this and like Imperial Troopers, all you're doing is just a bunch of damage, which stacks a bunch of protection on her, and she counters. And I think Wampa could potentially, but he doesn't have quite the same resiliency that Nest has as far as the bonus protection. You can work through that, but his counter, if he's not dazed, his counter is pretty wicked. So I think he can, but those are two specific characters. Basically, Nest and Wampa are very similarly built and are designed to kind of be that way. And so, yeah, I don't think you would use those teams on defense. I wouldn't personally put like Imperial Troopers on defense. Well, I do on my alt account because it's the only thing I have. But I mean, on my main account, I would never at the high end put Imperial Troopers on defense. I wouldn't put Shakti on defense either with the clones. I would use them to cherry pick a team. Yeah. To cherry pick a team I wanted to.
Well, and I saw some content too, like Max on a test account, somebody using Wampa on offense to solo it, but it started off right away with Shakti just lighting them up with the mass assist, and Wampa just doesn't have enough time to get that bonus protection up and have enough health steal to survive the encounter. Unfortunately, Nest has way more defensive capabilities, of course, especially with a team like that with the clones that have all that mass assist capability. She's just ramping up her protection, and she's not losing any of her health, and if she does, she's getting it right back. But with Wampa, he doesn't have those priorities and properties on offense and survivability, right? So unfortunately, it would have to be like one of those moments to where if, like, say somebody put down like a lower tiered Gear 10, Gear 11 Shakti team, maybe like a Rex Wampa would be just fine. But Wampa solo in general, I wouldn't do it because it's just a way he's going to die right away with her mass assist and then Cody's mass assist.
There you go. What else? 73 to Mike. He says, question, can Mike say 5th Sith ship 10 times real fast? You don't have to answer that, Mike.
No, I can't. But if Sweary's around at any point, I'm going to get her too.
Oh, Sweary.
If she makes
an
is lurking.
Yeah, she's lurking. She's always around.
I think all of us have done it here like twice, right? Maybe 3 times.
Yeah, Sith
I know
ship,
I can't.
Fifth Sith
tried
ship,
to say it
Fifth
earlier.
Sith ship, 5th Sith ship.
Becomes a Sesame Street song.
I know. I know. Phenomena. Dun, 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 dun. Well, here's a real question, Mike from Graham. What if Obi-Wan's capital ship is a Marquis? Ooh.
Ooh, that would be unpleasant. But
You don't think they're going to do that, do you?
No, I don't. I really don't think they're going to do that. I mean, that would set a new precedence for releasing capital ships. And I know they've mentioned that they're looking at different ways, but no,
I can't see a Marquis on that.
No,
not for a capital ship.
No, not for a capital
No,
ship.
we've been wrong before, Michael.
Yeah. I mean, what popped up in my mind was would they do it via the Shard Chase again?
Yeah, and the new capital ship will require the new gear pieces. God, no, please. No.
This one has mods.
Oh no! This time we mean it. All right. Paparazzi question: was there a live update just now? Not that I'm aware of. I didn't get any. Anybody? No, I'm not seeing a live update.
Someone in chat said that their game's just updated.
Oh,
I think that's why she's asking.
Oh, no, I'm not seeing anything like that.
No, I mean neither. I'm going back and forth between the main and the alt too.
I'm checking.
Skywalker Vader said his game was updated.
Huh? I don't see anything. Well, I mean, Chewy. Nathan Howie for you, Stoner. Question: how many teams would you say is required to plan out to be effective in TWGA? 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50.
Both offensive and defensively, you got to think like Grand Arena now too, right? So I'd say based
That's
on
what he
your
means.
GP,
I mean, TW is a little bit more contained, right? It's not as many, but GA is a different monster altogether. So let's kind of break this down. So I'd say, like at my level, it's 7 and 7, right? If you're not counting the ships, right? So that's that's 14 teams. So 7 for defense, 7 for offense, right? What I don't. Where if higher levels 5.5.
No, it doesn't increase after 4.
It doesn't increase after 4, right? Where you don't have like 8 or 9 that you have to put down. Warrior.
Sorry. I apologize. I wasn't paying attention because it wasn't my question.
Oh!
I'm at work, keep in mind, and I have a new associate, so I was trying to help out. I apologize.
Don't give us the old I'm at work helping someone out chestnut. We're not going to fall for your mind tricks there, Warrior. No, it's probably true.
Well, in reference to the question in general, it's just like focus on the top tier, hard counters, your Revens, your Triumvir, your CLS, JTR, your Night Sisters, Bounty Hunters, First Order, and it'll have a ripple effect because either way, there's characters like First Order, for example. It's a great staple defensive team. It's a great magnet team too, as well, to get people to use their like JTR or their Ewoks or anything like that in specific. But you're also going to have times where you use it on offense, and it'll have this ripple effect through your roster to, okay, well, these are strictly defensive staple teams, and these are my offensive hard counters for anything. You know what I mean? Like these 6 or 7 teams on offense will beat anything. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, you have to kind of look at it like if you look at all the GAs that I've done, there are certain staple teams that I use on defense and certain staple teams that I use on offense. And the key to Grand Arena is roster depth. How many of those teams? We all know you're going to have the top echelon teams done, right? Your Jedi Revan, your Darth Revan, your Treyas, things of that nature, right? But what do you have to put on defense? And that's the thing that trips people up a lot of times. So when we say work on your First Order and you eventually you have to have those teams, it's because you want to be able to use those teams either on offense or defense. For me, it's a standard package I put on defense all the time. I don't change it. I just leave it there. for these last couple Grand Arenas that were 5s: Darth Revan, Bounty Hunters with Jango lead, First Order, the Karth team, the Kira Stall team, Night Sisters, and then I put General Grievous team in there. You know, the Separatists. So those are the 7 I put on defense, and then on offense, it still left me, you know, Wampa and Ness solo for anybody that put Ewoks or something crazy down. And then it still left me JTR. It left me CLS, Jedi Knight Revan, the Padme team. So the more depth you can have, the better. That's easier said than done. So it's really tricky to be able to do that. So when we say focus on your teams and hyper focus, as you get one team done, go focus on the other team. Because once that team's kind of gear 11 and kind of locked in, that gives you more freedom on your offense, the more you can put those kind of teams down on defense. There's still really good teams on defense, but you're going to see when you get into Grand Arena Championships that's going to be the make or break. Mods are always important, too, on those teams, but just having the teams on defense to give you fighting chances where it's really at.
Yeah, or like Treya, for example, like in a lower tier GP, like if you have like 1.2 million or 1 or 2 million GP, you know, Treya makes sense on defense, but as you get higher up, it becomes a team where, okay, I can go in with 3 or 4 pieces on offense, get extra banners, and get a for sure win, you know, and or like Nest, you know, Nest is a great piece on defense in a scoundrel team or a, you know, a prepared team, but after a while she becomes a better piece to have on offense to get you 64 banners on offense. So.
Right. So things you got to think about, guys. Paparazzi, question for Mike. Is your name really Mike Hunt?
So I literally just finished typing my response in chat.
Did you? Why don't you read what you wrote?
So long story short, I tried so many. I went Star Wars, I went Hitchhikers, I went Malazan, I went all over the shop on all the fantasy stuff that I've ever watched, read, listened to, yada yada. None of it. All the cool names that I tried came back.
Ranger J 1999, that was taken.
Exactly. Name already chosen, blah, blah, blah. So I was annoyed. I typed it in, I hit enter, and I just could not believe it when it gave me it. I'm like, really? And that's kind of, it's funny to start with, and then, you know, it's like, yeah. Although I perpetuated it, of course, by opening up or starting an alt account and calling that York Hunt as well.
Right.
So, yeah. But no. Quick answer, no. It's not my name.
We have someone who just popped in that thought they were being sneaky, but you're not getting sneaky past me there, Mr. Ramon Azab.
How you doing, buddy?
What's going on? What's going on with you, buddy? Been a while.
Not much. Just happen to be around right now, so I figured I'd jump in.
Yeah.
See how you guys are doing.
Yeah, well, same old, answering questions. You have to answer a question?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So, from Darth Skywalker, question. Can Geo ships beat the Millennium Falcon team?
Well, of course, you asked me like a question that I have the least expertise in. You know?
You've seen about a lot of stuff, damn it. You've seen enough of the game. Come on, man.
I know a decent amount, but I'm not a ship.
Best guesstimation everyone will jump into. So I mean, if you had to, I don't think consistently no, but it can be done, right? I mean, on offense you can get some RNG in your favor. Geos are solid, but
I think you can win, but I think that the majority of the time it's gonna, the Millennium Falcon's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I think much like anything else in this game, on offense, your chances are increased based upon how well geared the other opponent's characters are, and how well geared your characters are, etc. So.
There you go.
No. No.
It's possible, but no.
Who's it piloted by? Who's not going to gear those two? It's like, no.
Well, I mean, I've beaten some Han's Millennium Falcon teams with some pretty bad teams.
Yeah, it can be done. I mean, it's Man, it's an RNG fest.
Not when it counts, it can't.
No, not when it counts. Yeah, most times something else is going to get you.
As you're in,
Yeah.
TW or GA.
Yeah.
No.
I
And
don't
you've
think you're
just been
taking-
led up the garden path by a victory in arena, and it's like, what? But no. Where'd
I
they
don't
all
think
go?
I don't think you're taking rank 1 with that team. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right, next question will go to, I think we're back up top. I've lost track now that Ramon came in here. Christ, I lost my track. Okay. I'm just going to start from the top and work my way down again. Warrior, are you there? Are you still training the associate?
I'm here.
Okay, good. Question from Martin Schaefer. Question, is it fair for low GP players to join, if lucky enough, high GP guilds to receive the new rewards when most will not be able to do so? Warrior?
Sorry, I had it on mute. So, yeah, I think it is fair because, first off, the life isn't fair, right? The game isn't fair. It's all about not about equal outcomes. It's about equal opportunity. And in the game, you've been given equal opportunity. And if you're free to play, you're just on a slower path than others, and that's okay. That's what it is. It's all about the grind. That's the whole point of the game. You will get there eventually, and you will be just like everybody else. But because you're a lower GP, it's going to take you a little bit longer. That's just the way it works. I don't think it puts you at a disadvantage because the game is being built in a way now that, honest to God, in-game doesn't even matter anymore. On my free-to-play account, I got 1.2 million GP. The only people I see in Grand Arenas is 1.2 million GP. None of those people are going to have the things that I don't have. So it's very fair. They're not putting me against those people with the Gear 13s. So I don't have to worry about that. And those people are going to be progressed. And the new Grand Arena is going to be even more fair because if those individuals are there and I have to face them, they're going to win. I'm not. And so I'm going to stay in the Bronzium or whatever the heck league, and they're going to move forward into the next league because they beat me. So they're going to progress up and get out of my way, and I'm going to be, paired with individuals that are of a fairer nature. So I think the further down we get, the better it is. But the thought or the fact that everybody should have everything always, that they should have access to everything, isn't right. The fact that I even am in a Sith team, a team that does Sith raids, a lot of people see as like unfair. And truly, most people at my GP at 1.2 million wouldn't be in a Sith raid. But like I said, the shards, I don't really care about Treya right now, so it really doesn't matter in that sense. It was more about being with friends, and sometimes you can benefit from being in a friend guild kind of thing. So, but no, I think when the time comes that you're around 3 or 4 or 5 million GP and you need that in-game content and you're facing people with that, you're going to have access to that at that point. And if you don't, that means you're in a really terrible guild and you need to get out and get to a better guild. It's okay. Guild culling is an important part of any game, and it's necessary. To sit in a guild by yourself or with like 4 other people and not do anything and then complain about not getting access to stuff that you can't get access to because you're in a very low-end guild that doesn't really care is a problem. The people, the guilds that are not very competitive need to either not care about not getting that stuff or care and merge to something else. To sit around and say you want access to something but you're not willing to have a guild that requires high-end participation from like 50 people type thing is also unfair to think of that on behalf of the company. You know what I mean? Like the culling or the separation of teams is actually a good and healthy thing for anything. It's getting people who are the most active together, people who are the least active fall away or go to other guilds. Passive guilds are fine. If you want to sit around and do nothing and not care, that's okay, but then don't complain about that which you can't have access to.
Can I add something quickly?
No.
So
okay, go ahead.
The guild that I was in went through this cleanse, lost all the top tier, was down to below the minimum to join the next territory war. Yeah, so they were really rock bottom. My alt joined. It's 2.7 million. Since a reshuffle, and quite a few alt or accounts have gone into it. Low GP. It's a heroic Sith raiding guild. I think we're 5-0 in territory wars, and my 2.7 million alt held for 10 battles in the last territory war. So I think it actually does healthily contribute to guilds. You know, as long as it's set up right, it really can. I mean, the guild's been reborn just through the activity and through the alt accounts, the lower tiered ones.
Well, if there's a will, there's a way, man. There's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we just did warrior. Michael, we got 2 questions left. So I'm going to cover. It's getting to the top of the hour, so here's the last 2. Michael, actually, I think I'm confused. Where am I? I just did warrior. Mike's next. Okay. Michael, question from Darth Skywalker. Question: what's left for clones? A lot.
Ooh, a lot. Yeah, clones is going to build over the year. Yeah, we've had the initial. We've had the suggestion that 2 more are on the way. And when does the new show drop?
This fall. I don't know. I can't remember the date.
Yeah. So we've still got a few months before the new show drops, and I think we'll get even more content from that.
Yeah, I agree.
And hopefully it won't just be tunes. It'll also be, let's play it cannily. Vehicles.
Ooh, creamy. Yeah, I was excited in Battlefront. They announced yesterday or Wednesday that they were bringing in the Clone Trooper tank into the game and Droidica. So I was like, oh, I can roll around with a Droidica. I'm so happy. All right, final question. I'm going to give this one to Ramon from Finity. So God help you on this one, Ramon. Question. It says, seems like with Geo Territory Battle, they are releasing a lot of characters in a short amount of time. Do you prefer this kind of release or more spaced out?
I mean, a content dump is always interesting, but at the same time, it's like, I was kind of wondering, because, I've been looking at my roster, and I'm looking at all the ships and the characters, and, typically there's a certain distance that you are behind, like, having a full roster. Like, there's about 10 characters or so, maybe 12 characters that you don't have done. Like, characters that are still, like, in the hopper to become free to play, and there's, some characters you just can't get done, and then there's characters you're working on until certain characters become available for free to play. And up until a couple weeks ago, I was looking at it and I said to myself, like, wow, there's really nothing that's coming up. We're talking about it on the show. We were saying, I can't believe that there's, there's no characters that we're waiting for in the cadence right now, other than legendary characters and things like that. So to now suddenly have all these different things that we're going to have to work on, I'm happy about it, but at the same time, it's like it feels like I just got thrusted back, into now back into a decision making mode where I got to look at what I'm working on now and say to myself, like, what do I have to stop at this moment, and and kind of change and shift gears to the next phase here. And I still kind of I'm still kind of wondering what I have to do, even though we have all this stuff coming out. I'm wondering, being that I'm probably not going to buy the 7-star version of Shakti, do I really need to work on clones right now anyway? Should I be working on my Separatists? Should I be working on the Galactic Republic characters for maybe possibly this ship event that's coming out? So I don't know. There's a lot of different. In the past, we typically have had kind of a good idea of where it's going. We knew that there was going to be some sort of an event for, Malik or Revan, and we knew there was going to be an event last year for Revan. We knew that they were kind of leading up to certain things based upon the characters that we have. Right now, I kind of don't know. Besides, obviously, the characters that we're going to be chasing after in specific to the Geonosis territory battles, because they're going to be very similar to the ones that we were going for in the Hoth territory battles. I'm sure the cadence will be similar with kind of like Captain Han Solo will have what are the character names? There's gonna be an Alpha.
Alpha Brood and Wat Tambor.
Yeah, and Wat Tambor. So those will be some of the required characters. So I have to assume that there will be a requirement with Wat Tambor. Do you think he'll be like basically part of let's say a General Grievous team? I don't know. I mean, so it's one of those things where right now I'm just kind of looking at all the different things and wondering, where.
Yeah, like
where,
he's supposed to be like that dark side, like Hermit Yoda. It was what Carrie was comparing him to, and then he's just gonna add more health, protection, healing mechanics. I mean, like, and imagine that in a General Grievous team with B1, like that team's constantly healing, health and protection left and right. So,
I mean, I think the game needed a jolt in the arm for sure. So it's definitely not like unwelcomed, to get a bunch of new content. I mean, even if it sets you back a little bit, it gives you more to work on. Because honestly, I was kind of getting to the point where I was just like working on backup plans that I've had for months. You know what I mean? So it's nice to have a new project to work on.
All right, that is all the questions we have for today. So we are going to wrap that up, and we're going to allow everybody to pimp their stuff. I'm going to start with Warrior because he's got the new associate and needs to do work and make millions. Warrior, where can folks check you out? What do you got going on in your channel?
So I am on Warrior Presents, and my phone is about to die, so hopefully I don't get cut off, but I just wanted to say thank you for having me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful morning. But, yep, Warrior Presents on YouTube, and you'll see me on my Scissorman account as well.
Absolutely, so check it out. Thank you as always, Warrior. Michael Huntington III, where can folks check you out at?
I've got a YouTube channel, Mike Hunt, SWGOH. I've been playing around with the Shaggy clone marquee event. We can get so many goes a day of just seeing who I could clear the final round with, and interestingly who I couldn't. So I can let you know that running Nest and Wampa with a couple of clones is fun. But I've also got a video coming out later on today where I run Jawas. Yeah, that's quite an interesting one. Jawa Scavenger. Gotta love a Jawa Scav. So
I killed Darth Revan with Jawas.
I know you did. You were my inspiration, and I believe you entitled it Mighty Jawas.
I did good.
So I plagiarized, and I've used the same title. So yeah, that's coming out. Utini!
All right, so make sure you check out Mike's content. Stoner Jedi, man, you got some stuff going on. What you got going on, partner?
So, I'm Zalo Takedown Games. Come check it out. A majority of the RSG viewers are my big supporters, so big thank you to the RSG crew and the supporters as well. You guys are amazing, and I love all of you guys. I appreciate all of you guys. It's been so much fun. I've been with you guys for almost 2 years now, over 2 years now, I should say. So, I check me out. You know what I'm doing. Grand Arenas when it comes back. I'm going to try and revise that a little bit more. Also been working on an alt account for the last few months, so the alt account will come to surface here with Grand Arena here soon. And doing roster reviews, live streams, hanging out, trying to get to know you guys more personally, and hanging out with you guys as much as I can. So come over and join the channels. Please subscribe. We're about to hit 600. We're right around that corner for 600. I believe like 4 or 5 more subscribers. So I'd really appreciate it again. And if you'd like.
All right. And last but not least.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
If you want to join the Discord too, it's on the About page on my YouTube channel too. So if you like the Discord, come over and join Discord as well.
All right. Very good. And finally, Ramon, have you fixed your damn mods yet?
It's a work in progress, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a work in
so
progress.
That's a no. That's a no.
They all have 16 speed. Yeah, so we have a show coming tomorrow night, and It'll be the the 99th episode of the Alliance live show.
Oh, snap.
So I'll have some details on the 100th episode that will be coming next week.
Ooh.
And yeah, come check it out. We'll be on 11 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night on my channel. Yeah, usual crew. Maybe Ranger will, be free and be able to join us.
I join most times. Sometimes I'm just like not available because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm exhausted.
It's late on a Sunday night, and you do a lot over the weekend. So
it's not good. I'll try to be on tomorrow. I'll definitely be there for the 100th episode. I guarantee you that. So
awesome.
I'm available. So, but yes, check out that. I always like to hang out there with good old Maurice and who else is it? Who Evan Astrid, I think. Yeah, I was going to say something else. I was like, no, that's not right. And
I think Abby has like the most alt accounts in the community.
Insane,
like she runs like a dozen, 15 accounts, something like that.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I couldn't do it. I after 2, I'd lose my damn mind. She had like
6 accounts, and she sold a couple, so now she only has like 4.
Oh, Jesus.
That's still pretty impressive. And I know she would do top tier content and the new legendaries every single account. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's something
exciting.
Else. Yeah, she is.
The more content that they add into the game, the less sustainable that's going to be.
Yeah,
she's true. Very true.
I just remember how frazzled she was after the Malik event. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
It's like, woman, you need a drink. Just get alcohol. What are you doing? Get it now.
Can you imagine having to do that event 4 times?
Oh Lord!
Oh my goodness! Oh man!
Paparazzi. It is the Alliance. What's the name of the official stream, Ramon?
It's the Alliance live show. It's on my channel at Ramon Azab. I'm sure. I think there's a link to my channel.
There's all the there's links to all the stuff.
So there's a link to the channel there, and we go live on Sunday nights.
There you go. All right, and so that is. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Check out these guys' content. Give them thumbs up on their videos. It's really important. As I said, these guys take the time to come out here to be here and answer your questions. Of course, do the same thing for our channel. Make sure you subscribe if you like the content. Give us a thumbs up on the video. It does help with monetization. If you like the content, you want to support us further, you become a Patreon sponsor. Make sure you follow us on Twitch. We do a lot of other cool stuff on Twitch. I've been doing Battlefront over there, so you can watch the Battlefront. I've been doing it with just Ian and a lot of other people. We've been having fun with the Battlefront content. We do D&D over there. Grand Arena, when it comes back, we're going to be doing Grand Arena over on Twitch as well. So a lot of great stuff for you guys. Also, I've been doing lore videos. So if you haven't checked out the lore videos, please do. They're on the channel. And I've got another one coming up here. Should be launching today. We'll get that one out soon. And I got another one coming out next week. So I'm going to keep pumping out the lore videos. You guys seem to like them. Today at 4 or 5, I haven't decided yet. Probably 4. Give me a few hours to get my affairs in order. I'll be doing mini roster reviews. If you have not been there, we kind of talk shop. I look at people's rosters. Of course, if you're a patron, you can have me look at anything, anytime you want. We usually do it for donations. It's a good time. I sit there and drink bourbon and we talk shop for a couple hours. And then tonight at 10, we'll do Pictionary like we always do. And then tomorrow will be our D&D campaign like always. And then Monday we start it all over again. So there you go. So with that, thank you guys for stopping in for another Jedi Academy. Have a great rest of the day. We'll see you when we see you. And come check out our other stuff. And until then, we will talk at you later. Peace.